So, as a lot of you will know, yesterday I did a video about Gareth Southgate off the back of that 4-0 drubbing at home to Hungary, where I went in. Maybe I was a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too hostile, and a little bit too harsh on Gareth Southgate. Maybe I wasn't. But I got a text this morning from the one and only Thogden. He's on holiday, he's my mate, but he is livid with what I said. So I thought the only thing that we could do is invite him onto this channel to have the conversation and find out whether I was wrong, whether I was too harsh, or whether I was onto something. Thogden is brilliant. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He is inching ever closer to the 1 million. So let's help get him there. But he was furious with what I had to say about Gareth Southgate. He is backing him passionately. Let's bring him on. Thogden! So please welcome onto the channel, the one, the only, it's Thogden. Thog, look at that view. Before we get into it, that view is astonishing. Where are you?
I'm in Montenegro, mate. We always come out here in the summer, just soak it all in. Because you know how busy I'm. I'm traveling during the season. You got to take some days off, some weeks off, just chilling out.
Mate, it looks glorious. It really does look so good. But so this morning, I got a text message from you, my dear friend, telling me that you thought I had gone far too harsh. You did not appreciate the sentiment that was on display from me regarding Gareth Southgate. Can you do me a favour? Because I think it's important that we try and remain balanced on this channel. Last night, I was so upset with that result that I just went for it. But help me understand. Give me your point of view here. Why do you think I was too harsh?
Rory, I was there in Russia at the 2018 World Cup. I was also there at the Euros, going to every single game apart from the one in Italy, which we couldn't physically get to. And we were always dominating against teams which in previous years, you're older than me, you're in a generation where you've seen a lot of dross. My father has too, and he reminds me of that all the time. I think you look at Southgate and yes, he's had a bit of a howler, but it's the Nations League. It's the end of the season. The players are tired. I'm wishing to give him an opportunity at the Qatar World Cup. I don't want him to see him go now. I want him to have a try at another big competition because he's done well in the last few main competitions. Because for me, the Nations League, I don't care about it.
What do you think to this argument? Every single time Gareth Southgate has come up against a side that is capable of beating him, he bottles it. Every single time that we come up against an opposition that are capable of giving England something to think about, they generally give something to England to think about and beat us.
I disagree because I remember us beating last year in the Nations League. We beat Croatia after they beat us. I know you're going to say, Croatia's not on the level of the top teams, but I still think they are with some of the players that they've got. Beating Germany at the Euros was really good, 2-0. I was there, and I actually think they're a decent side. They pumped Italy yesterday as well. I think that was a win that Southgate can be proud of. What's your argument against that? I mean, the Germany game's against your argument.
I do have one. I do have one. The argument against Germany is that result is very impressive. I would never take anything away from Southgate. He did very well that day. He went bold. He went bold. He played right back at left back. And I think he said in that interview, he said, if you get it wrong, you're dead. And he was right because people would have gone crazy if he got it wrong. For me, though, it's an anomaly. It's basically one good result in 6 years, isn't it? And, Norwich beat Man City a couple of years ago. These things do happen. For me, that result, particularly in context of everything that we've seen from Southgate, it's an anomaly. It's not something that we can use as a template because it happened once and has never been seen again.
But I don't think it's not a Norwich Man City argument because Norwich are a team relegation fighting where they snuck a chance and then City gave in. England were dominant against Germany, and as much as we gave them that Muller chance, apart from that, we actually looked like we were going to win. And I have full belief that we will be successful in World Cup and get more wins against competition, which we can go ahead and get through to the last few stages. Will we win it? I'm unsure. It's going to be difficult, but I still think just sacking him now with 2 games before Qatar. Do you not think that's a bit harsh? Which manager is going to have enough time to plan a whole tactics and understand the squad and get the best out of them and become their good close friends before traveling to Qatar? How do you explain that? 2 games before.
The issue with Qatar for me is because I believe, And look, I think that there is a sort of vicious circle that Gareth Southgate is existing in now. This is what one of my friends
Yeah,
one of my good mates saw my video and had a real go at me, and he's sort of
really.
similar to what you did actually,
Yeah,
and he basically said, look, Southgate has got himself into a situation now where whatever he does, if it goes well, it will be in spite of the manager. People like me will say it's in spite of the manager, and if it goes badly, it will be because of the manager, and that's
yeah,
totally unjust. But my argument is, I don't think England can win in Qatar with Southgate as manager. With somebody else, maybe we can. I just can't see Southgate winning a World Cup, and I truly believe that this crop of players are good enough.
yeah. I know you're very honest. I've seen you say it a few times on Twitter and YouTube how we're in like a golden generation. But how do you explain it when you grew up and you were watching Lampard playing for England with Gerrard? How did that not win with Euros or World Cup? Because you didn't have Southgate then to complain about it. Whose fault was it then?
But do you know my issue with this argument, Thug? I feel like what we're doing is England have perennially underachieved. England have been
Yeah, 100%.
the standards for England are so low and so poor and embarrassingly bad at times. You know, Steve McLaren
Yeah.
didn't get to the '08 championships.
Mm.
Graham Taylor didn't get to the '94 World Cup. These things are unacceptable, but we shouldn't judge England to that. We shouldn't say, well, we're
Yeah,
better
it's
than
true.
we're better than we were when we were terrible, so we should be happy now. I think that our standards should be aspirational. We should be looking up, and we should be looking at this England team thinking, this England team are sensational,
Yeah.
but I don't think we're going to win in Qatar. Do you honestly believe that England are going to win the World Cup?
Yes,
I love it.
I do.
I love it, folks.
And
I love it.
the truth is, Rory, I've seen us. I've travelled with us before. I have a feeling it's going to go well in Qatar. Nations League is a load of shit. I don't know if I can swear. I
Yeah.
just think You know what I feel about the
Yeah.
Nations League. And quite frankly, the players are tired. It's come the end of the season. Everybody is motivated for the World Cup. It doesn't matter what competition you play in. That is the biggest stage in the world. That's the time you look back on. You know, you can't change that 90 minutes, and you'll be thinking about it until you're dead. Simple as. Those players will put 200% effort in, quite frankly. And I don't think they did that yesterday. And I know your natural reaction, you know, straight after the match, you watch a game of football, you're very emotional. But I think you'll be taking those words back in November.
Okay, hear me out just one more point
Sure.
before you
Yeah.
can go and dive into that glorious looking swimming pool behind
I'll
you.
be jumping in, mate.
Having spent lots of time with you, you know, you and I have been to an England game together. We went to the game at the Riverside last summer, didn't we? The Romania game. So you and
Yeah,
I have
we
been
did.
to England games,
Yeah.
and I've played football with you. I know that you understand tactics. I know when I've watched games of football with you in a stadium, I know that you are instructing and aware of what's going on tactically. Having played with you, I understand that you know the game well. Tell me this. Is Gareth Southgate enough of a tactician to outsmart and outfox some of the very best that he's going to come up against at the World Cup?
Quite frankly, I don't think he's Antonio Conte. I don't think he's Jose Mourinho. But what he is a man manager. And quite frankly, I don't think you need to be the most tactically perfect manager to win these sort of competitions. You need to get a group of lads who absolutely want to die for the 3 points or going through to the next round, whatever it is, and just want to play for the shirt. We've seen winners of World Cups previously who are not the best teams on paper, but they would just. I mean, look, in terms of big competitions, I always go to Celtic in 1967. Not one of those lads who were born were further than a 30-mile radius from Celtic Park. They had no foreign signings. Winning these competitions when you knock out other teams is not about how good you are. It's about how much you want it. And as long as those players go to that tournament wanting to play for Gareth Southgate, we will win the Qatar World Cup. I do not see France as a competition. I think, quite frankly, think France have already done it. They've already won it. They've had them time. They're happy. They're loving it. Then there's Brazil and Argentina, but we know about them. You know what it's like in South America. It just takes one game. They get a bit too aggressive and they lose it in the heads. I think it's England's time to shine. And it's really, really disappointing with all the toxic perspective
Sorry.
with England fans. No, Rory, I'm not blaming you at all. Everyone's allowed an opinion, but I just think people are going against the manager, the staff, the players. You know, they check their social media, they check everything, and people are just blasting them. I really feel bad for Harry Maguire. He can't change his price tag. He's not going to say no to the price tag because he's earning more money. He said yes to what is given, and he's had a very tough time. I actually think he does well for England, and a lot of people will disagree with me. I am hopeful, and I'll stick by the players and the staff.
But Thog, we lost home and away to a team ranked 40th. You're a generous man.
Okay,
you're a generous man.
Rory, you need to be out here on holiday, mate, like me, because so do the players.
Yeah,
so do the players.
That I agree
Everyone
with.
needs a break. Everyone needs a break. The players are not robots.
I do. Do you know what you haven't changed my opinion. I do stand by what I said yesterday, but I do also understand that you are onto something. Whatever anyone thinks, Gareth Southgate is going to be England manager going into this World Cup, and maybe we need to sort of draw a line under this when this European Nations League is over. Draw a line and try and fully back Southgate.
Absolutely. It depends what happens.
It's not going to be easy, but maybe you're onto something. And by the way, that's why you are such a football man, by the way. I don't think I've ever heard anyone of your age reference the Lisbon Lions. Very impressive.
Mate, so are you. It's just, that's the great thing, because we can agree and disagree at the same time. It's all about discussion. I want to know what the comments think, though, Rory. I know what your fan base is like. It can be very hot and cold. They're going to be all over it. Everyone loves to have an opinion in the comment section. So I'm looking down to see, do you agree with #Rory or #Thogden?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Thog, appreciate it so much, man. Always an honor to have you on this channel. You hit the milli yet? You're ever closer, mate, man.
Well, first me and then you. I'm on 931,000 subscribers.
Mate, in the bag. It's coming.
Mate, anyone who's on that channel who hasn't yet subscribed, you know where to go.
Help us get to already. Nearly there, Thog. Great to speak to you, mate. Have a wonderful holiday.
You too. Take care.
There we have it. Thank you so much to the one and only Thogden for coming onto this channel. It's an honor to have YouTube royalty on this channel. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. He is inching ever closer to the million. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you #Rory or are you #Thogden? In a bit.